In this video, I'm going to explain how to completely transform your dating life overnight. Now, first and foremost, who am I? My name is Alan Woods. A couple years ago, I had zero options with women, and now I'm dating my dream girl. Before I met her, I had complete abundance of women. I approached 17 girls yesterday just so I could make some content for my clients. I've mastered the dating game. I used to have no options, and now it's complete abundance. And so one of the things that completely shifted everything for me, I'll cover in a little bit in this video. But please, if you are currently struggling and you're tired of just sitting around getting ghosted by girls on the apps and dating a great girl for a while and then she disappears, or if you're tired of all the bullshit, then please tune in, because you don't have to stay stuck. I was stuck for a long time, and I used to blame, oh, it's the modern dating market, or, oh, I need to make more money, or, oh, I don't look good enough. And those are small pieces, but most of the problem, it comes down to you, bro. And so I'm going to explain exactly what issues you are making in this video so that you can change, okay? And I may sound a bit cocky throughout the video, but it's all coming from a place of love because I've been there. And guys like us, they only listen to guys who are a little bit arrogant. So it is what it is. So let's dive in. I have some notes here. And the first thing I want to talk about is that most guys say that the dating market is bad, but they haven't truly tried. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, think about this. Okay, you want to meet an amazing girl, you want to date an amazing girl, and you want to have this consistent abundance in your life, right? You want to have an amazing, beautiful, sexy mamacita by your side, right? Okay, well, what are you doing to meet women? What are your hooks that you're putting out into the ocean? Is it only dating apps? Are you doing anything in person? Because for most guys, at this point, I've literally coached dozens and dozens of men in this space. And every single time when it comes to this topic, again, there's only two ways to meet women, either in person or online. Most guys have terrible online presences, so that side of things is useless. And then when it comes to in person, well, they don't talk to girls. If a girl happens to come into their friend group, well, yeah, they'll be in her little friend zone for a couple of months or a year or two, but they won't ever make their attraction to her apparent. They won't directly tell her, hey, I'm attracted to you. So in person, it's kind of messed up. And when they're out in public, at the grocery store, at the gym, walking around, at the park, they see beautiful girls every day. You see beautiful girls every day. When did you last talk to any of them? When? I'm not being a dick, but you need to ask yourself this question if you want to get better results. If you want to have an amazing dating life, well, where will it come from if you're not meeting people? And so one of the things for me that was a massive paradigm shift was about a year and a half ago. I went out one day, and it was at a time when I was working a sales job for 60 plus hours a week. I had no time. Or that was the lie that I told myself. And I wasn't getting the best results from dating apps at that point in time. I had okay photos, but they weren't good enough to get consistent dates. So I decided one day to just go out in person and just spend a day meeting girls. Because I was telling myself, oh, I'm too busy. Oh, I gotta focus on the grind. I gotta focus on the mission. I was telling myself all this bullshit every day, but I wasn't doing anything to improve my dating life. I was just making up all the bullshit. And so one day I go to ASU, Arizona State University, beautiful blondinas everywhere. And I just make the commitment to myself to talk to 5 girls that day. Very simple commitment. But it was something that I had I had never done it in my life up until that point in time. Never. Not in one day. So I go out, I make this commitment, and what happens next? Well, as I'm walking around, first of all, I'm a little bit, I'm terrified. At the time, I was quite terrified about it. But as I start to do it, well, the first one is a little bit shifty. It's not the greatest. The second one's a little bit better. The third one is a lot better. And I noticed myself just becoming more and more alive and just completely vibrant in like conquest mode as I'm going through it. And secondly, what I noticed is that on the dating apps that I'd been using, the conversations had always been so simple and meaningless, and so much ghosting and so much bullshit and so much fluff, and the girls weren't as attractive. And the crazy part was that when I went out and I talked to girls in person, well, it was the complete opposite. The girls were alive and feminine and bubbly and smiling and saying thank you. And they seemed pure and traditional and not so involved in like the social media glitz and glam and all the games and all we were having real meaningful conversations. It felt like a true experience of life and not just this meaningless dating app swipe bullshit. So that was part one. It seemed more real. But the second part was that by the end of these 5 approaches, well, number one, I felt 10 times better about myself because I saw that I had slayed the dragon. It wasn't the approach that was important. It was the mindset that I embraced in order to do the approach. It was me stepping out on confidence, on my own self-belief to do the approach. I was proud of myself for that. But beyond that, I also had dates locked in. From those 5 approaches, I met like 2 or 3 girls, like two girls that I ended up dating. And so when I went from having spent weeks and months on these dating apps for the past chunk of time and getting no results from the apps in that entire time, to now grabbing myself by the nuts and walking out into the real world and talking to 5 girls in one day, in a few hours. And now from that span of a few hours, now having abundance, it quickly destroyed the lie that I was telling myself that the dating market was so bad, or that I wasn't good enough, or that I needed to have the perfect approach, or that it destroyed all the bullshit. It destroyed the lie that women nowadays aren't that good. It destroyed the lie that women nowadays only want players or only want XYZ. No, they wanted me. I wasn't going out there and claiming what I wanted. And so this is the thing that most guys nowadays do, probably yourself included, because you wouldn't be watching this video if you were getting the results you wanted. That's the honest truth. And so the fact of the matter is that, like, if you're annoyed with dating right now and you're not dating the type of woman that you want to be dating consistently, well, then the simplest way to fix that is by talking to them. Okay? Now, I've created a stupidly amazing guide that dives into what to say, how to say it, body language, how to beat approach anxiety. Because the biggest thing holding you back, if you're not doing this, it's fear. So I created a guide on how to beat that fear, which I'm giving away for free. So click that in the link down below. But aside from that, the second thing that I wanted to talk about is guys overthink and they get in their heads and they ask themselves, what should I say? What's the perfect opening line? What if she thinks it's weird? Maybe she doesn't want to be talked to. Bro, listen, here's the fact of it. Women want to be talked to. And most men don't do it, and most women haven't been talked to. Not anytime recently. No, it doesn't happen nowadays. Now, I have to caveat that by saying that women do get catcalled. If they're walking down the street, there's going to be some construction worker staring at them all creepy like. They'll say, hey, nice ass. They do get catcalled. They do get whistled at. It does happen. They do get groped by creeps in the club. Yes, these things happen. But when it comes to a man walking up genuinely, looking them in the eye boldly, like a man, being grounded like a man, and saying, hey, I know this is out of the blue, but I thought you were cute. I wanted to meet you. Nobody does that. How do I know? Well, A, because I have done that many times, and almost every single time the girls are blown away. That's the first part. But secondly, because the data shows it. The studies back this up. They've done studies where they've made a census of women all across the country. And they've asked them the question of, okay, how often do you get approached? And guess what the answer was? For women under 30, women under 30 are those who get approached the most because, frankly, they're the most attractive. They're the most physically attractive. So even for the women who are in their absolute prime physically, 35% of them have not been approached in over a month. So more than 1 out of 3 women has not been approached in a month. Think about that. That might not sound too crazy to you, but imagine it this way. Think of a girl on Tinder or on Hinge. How many messages do you think she's getting? 5 a day, 10 a day, 20 a day, 100 a day? Bro, I've dated some beautiful girls and they've shown me their inboxes on these apps. And it's disgusting how many messages they get. As men, like we just can't compute how many messages they get. Even the average girls, let alone the beautiful ones. So it's much more difficult to stand out on the apps as opposed to in person. Even the most beautiful girls, they don't get approached often in person. Women under 30, 1 out of 3 of them has not been approached in at least a month. And beyond that, 55% have not been approached in a month. Excuse me, I messed up there. 55% have not been approached in a month, and 35% have not been approached in over a year. So 1 out of 3 have not been approached in at least a year, and over half have not been approached in a month. And the studies are right up above. Check them out if you want to. It's all third-party stuff. This isn't me. This is what the data shows. Okay, I'm not making this up. I wish it was different because men nowadays they're just soft. And so the reason why I bring this up is because that's the one side of it. Women are not getting approached, which wouldn't be a problem if women didn't want to get approached. But the same studies show that women do want to get approached. 77% of women under 30 said that they wish men approached them more often. Not less, more. So when you combine these things, the fact that women are getting bombarded on dating apps, getting bombarded on social media, but getting completely ignored in person, and they want to be approached in person, well, the answer becomes obvious. If you want to improve your dating life, go out and talk to them, okay? It's quite simple. It's not some massive scientific formula. It's A plus B equals C. And again, like I just explained that the data backs this up, but so does my own experience. So does the experience of all of my clients who I've coached in the dating space. Like, guys come to me all the time and they're so fed up with being ignored and getting ghosted and sending messages on dating apps and getting no responses. And like they're tired of the bullshit. And then they've almost given up. And then we make the simple change of just talking to people. And boom, it fixes itself. Like it's amazing how simple life becomes when we realize how simple life is. Like we choose to make it complicated. So that's the second thing. And the third point I want to make is, like, look at it this way, bro. Like, who do you want to be in this life? Like, when you think back on the past, when you're 60, 70, 80 years old, looking back on who you were as a young man, looking back on your glory days, think about it. Like, close your eyes and imagine this, bro. Like, think back to when you will be looking back on your life when you're old and asking yourself, like, who am I? What was my life? Was it worthwhile? Well, do you think you'll be more proud of having sat on the sidelines, swiping on the apps all day? Do you think that'll make you proud? Or do you think you'll be more proud of having walked through the world boldly and having seen some women who grabbed your attention in presenting yourself to them, talking to them, having real conversations. Again, it's not about the approach. It's not about the women. It's about you as a man being deeply in touch with what you want from this world and pursuing that. Whether it's in dating, whether it's in business, whether it's in your social life, whether it's in leading your family, it all comes down to the same principles. It's not about dating. It's about pursuing what you want in this world. Okay? So, again, just think about that. Think about what will make you the most proud a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 50 years from now. Because I promise you, like when you reach that point, even an hour from now, you're not gonna give a fuck about what your feelings were when you saw that girl. You're not gonna care how nervous you were. What you will care about is whether or not you talked to her. Okay? So that's my advice for how to quickly transform your dating life. It's quite simple. Simple, but not easy. But if you want to make it easier, again, I've made a free guide that'll go deep into how to destroy the fear that's in your mind so that you can fix this. I want to help you because I've been there myself, and it can be done. Again, I'm dating my dream girl now, and I've dated many other amazing women before her. And I've done the same for my clients. And now I'm giving away a lot of that stuff for free. So check it out down below. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Yeah, God bless, Godspeed. See you on the next one. Cheers.